Welcome to Reviews on the Run.
We're doing something really cool this week. We are taking a look back at some of our favorite risque moments in games. What do we got today,
I got something. How about that threesome in God of War?
You didn't have to finish that sentence.
That's the closest any of you are ever going to get to a threesome.
Any of us.
Stay, Kratos. Just a bit longer.
We're starting off with a doozy. We're taking a look at a sequel called 99 Nights 2.
Wait. That would be 180 something. Wait, my
That's
math,
a lot of numbers.
is terrible.
And apparently there's like 1 million troops that you take on. I know.
You mean enemies?
Yeah, bad guys. Here's Ben and Jose to look at 99 Nights 2.
I'm skeptical.
We are talking 99 Nights 2 today.
I thought it was 99 felt Luft Balloons or Luft whatever that song is.
That would
99 Nights 2.
That would be so much more awesome than this game.
You weren't a fan?
I was not a fan. I was not a fan of 99 Nights, and I'll tell you why. Great idea, this kind of giant crowd smashing, button mash.
When I first heard about the original game, I was like, this is going to be epic.
That game came out when the Xbox 360 was in its infancy, and it was kind of a tech show-off. Like, look how many characters you can have on the screen. You know, it's been a couple years since then, and I need more to wow me from my Xbox 360 games, and 99 Nights 2 did not
It's
wow
just
me.
more of the same. I didn't honestly expect this game to, like, earn itself a sequel. And so when I heard it was announced, I was like, all right, well, maybe they're going to, they're going to make things cooler. And they tried to make things a little bit cooler. You know, the animations of the deaths and cutting guys in half and stuff is kind of cool, but it's just exactly the same flipping game.
In fact, it might even make less sense this time around. I have no idea what happened. I have zero idea. I played the game for like hours and hours. I cannot, people have no idea. Go on the internet, read about it. I have no idea. You're a guy.
Yeah, Galen.
Sure.
Yeah.
At first, you're the Galen. You play as other people too.
Yeah, you start off as Galen.
There's a Lord of Darkness.
Yeah.
He's up to no
devil,
good.
Lucifer.
That's another name
Which should
for
have
him.
been his name. There's a darkness coming over the lands.
Right. You have to therefore
Smash 99
400
nights.
million people. Yeah. That's how you save the world, by killing everything.
And that's all it takes. I mean, it just takes one man with the help of 4 other characters.
Even though you have some variation in the characters, there's like the big beefy guy, there's the faster one. They all almost play identically.
Exactly. I was going to say, even though there's different characters, it's all X buttons, Y buttons, B buttons, or power move. And it's the same boring, tedious crap, level after level, X, Y.
I can't believe they didn't open up the world. It's almost a dungeon crawl. You're kind of going from small, room to the next room. You get into the next room, there's 400 guys, you kill them all. You go to the next room, there's 400 more guys, you kill them all. And you just do this for hours and hours and hours.
And you easily rack up your 1600 hit combos.
I turned the game on, 900 hit
Achievement
combo.
unlocked.
900 hit combo.
achievements. Boom, done.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that makes me feel good inside, but as a gamer, but it wasn't fun and it hurt my hands. I think it would help if they started off with fewer guys to kill. So maybe when you start the game, you've got 10, 15 guys at a time, and then 20, and then they kind of ramp it up.
And it feels like you earn that power.
I don't even think it looks that good anymore. I mean, they have a lot of
the first generation of 99 Nights looked amazing, especially with all the people on the screen. Now it's like I said, more of the same.
Been there, done that a million times, and so have you. And that's why I'm going to give this game a 4.5 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 5.5.
You know, Victor, I have not played a great shooter so far this year. And when I say shooter, I mean old school R-type. A shmup. That stands for
Shoot 'em up.
Shoot 'em up. This is Sin and Punishment Star Successor for the Wii.
The Wii's got some good shooters, though. I mean, if you factor in the light gun shooters, it's pretty good at targeting and shooting stuff. But I think Sin and Punishment Star Successor is something special.
This is something special, and you'll notice right off the top that we are definitely in over-the-top land here.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
The game stars 2 characters who look like creepy little elves.
Yeah, they're big-headed RPG cast-offs or
one
something like
is
that.
a man and one is a woman, but I'll be damned if I can tell which one is which.
Hand her over or die. Your choice.
And then, like all shooters, all kinds of crazy, huge things come out. Everything you can imagine and things you can't even imagine will pop up in front of you.
Giant creature things and little skeleton-type things and little military dudes.
And there's also a whole underwater level that I went through where you're in this sort of water
jellyfish-type things.
Yeah, and like every 3 minutes there's a huge boss that comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's got big red, giant, glowing things on it. You target those things, you just chip away at this layers and layers of health meters.
Yep.
And it's all exciting.
It is fun, right?
It's so exhilarating.
This is made by Treasure, and Treasure is renowned for making great 2D games, and one of the ones that they're really famous for is Gunstar Heroes, which is one of my favorites. Love that game. My thing with Sin and Punishment is that this is really fun, and it absolutely evokes memories of Panzer Dragoon, and I've always been wondering why Sega has not revitalized that franchise on this platform. I love Panzer Dragoon. I don't know if Treasure has made a better game than Gunstar Heroes. I don't know if this game is more fun to play
I think it is.
than the 2D scrolling Gunstar with the crazy bosses.
And I think what makes this game more special than Gunstar Heroes, and I know that sounds like heresy to a lot of you people out there, is the way that it goes from this sort of old school traditional shoot 'em up action to this 2D kind of fighting game every now and then.
Yeah, because you have
really
a sword mechanic.
So if enemies get close enough to you, you can actually press the attack button, which is normally your fire button.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you'll start busting out these Street Fighter 4 caliber type moves, and you have to do this during some of the battles. You absolutely have to.
Yeah, no, and it's really fun.
You're not as excited as I am.
Well, I just felt like this was a downloadable kind of experience. I didn't feel that this was like
the epicness of the boss battles.
I mean, it is really good.
What downloadable experience are you going to get as good as this?
I think we're starting to get some of that kind of stuff on the download.
This belongs on a disc.
It is
sure.
It is fun, and you do get kind of lost in the experience, but the story doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't feel like a 2010 experience. It feels like a 1985 experience with 2010 polygon.
I can't think of any guilty pleasure type game that tops this right now. I mean, I really enjoyed this.
No, I really did too. But there are just so many more immersive, huge escapes in games these days,
hungry for a shooter experience. I'm giving this a 9.
I'd dig it a lot more if it were Panzer Dragoon. I have to be honest. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
All right, so I admit it, I'm kind of accused of loving my iPhone a little bit too much by
who would ever do that?
Some of yous and yous. But it was made clear to me when we were playing Blue Dragon on the DS again that the DS is terrific with role-playing games.
It is funny. So
overwhelmed by role-playing games.
You're in love with the DS again.
It made me recognize that it's a great platform to kind of lose yourself in these book-like giant story adventures, and we've got one for you today.
The DS is kind of like a book.
Dragon Quest IX, Sentinels of the Starry Skies.
The Starry Sky, that's right.
This is the latest of the RPGs. Nintendo is actually publishing it in North America. It's a Square Enix game.
Right.
And it's a massive, massive series, and it's a huge success in Japan. I think they're up to about 5 million copies of this game sold in one country on this little tiny cartridge. So, it's a massive game.
So you know what this means?
Yeah.
This means that the Dragon Quest series is now only about 5 games behind Final Fantasy.
Well, it's always been
it's a neck and neck race.
That popular and that big and that close to Final Fantasy.
But the weird thing is about Dragon Quest is, Final Fantasy goes through evolutions and it gets better and worse and tries new tactics, and nothing really ever changes that dramatically.
Well, it's always been
not on the same scale.
It's always been a cutesy, big-headed, kind of traditional role-playing experience.
That's what we got here.
And that's what we have here. But they have made some advancements, and I have to say this is the most enjoyable of any of the Dragon Quest games that I've touched so far.
Did you enjoy this more than your beloved Blue Dragon?
I did. I really had a good time.
Oh, he loved that game. I had to listen to it.
And you know what they've done this time is they've taken away the random encounters. Thank God that that's not happening. So you actually can choose when you want to get into a fight or when you don't want to. The grinding is fun. It's very traditional.
I choose to fight you on shoot day.
The art style.
I see that you're wearing your.
I mean, it doesn't look revolutionary, but it looks pretty damn great on this machine.
You're wearing your magical shirt that gives you +2 of nerdiness.
That's right. And then the other thing that they've done is that this is a multiplayer game, and you can play this with friends over the Wi-Fi connection.
It's a little silly, though. I mean, it's a totally separate quest you have to go on. It's not a jump in, jump out, which is what most of the console games have spoiled us with lately.
Yeah, but that's still a first. It's still a first for this series.
But it's not terribly practical.
But I gotta tell you, this game is really fun. The script writing is clever. The characters are cool. I think this is one of the most tightly knit and tightly orchestrated Japanese RPGs I've played. It's really engrossing.
But listen to me, though. This is the issue. This is something I've been thinking about a lot lately.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as a game over-delivering? Is there such a thing as having too much game? It clocks in at well over 100 hours.
Yeah, there's
and
tons,
if you're looking for value,
you
can't beat this.
I kind of feel like
it's overwhelming
on this platform for this crowd in this genre. this is some of the best, and I think that's kind of cool. There are a lot of people out there that only buy, 6 or 7 games a year, and they love to sort of invest themselves into this kind of storytelling and this kind of design. And this is fantastic work.
Give them a score so they can decide.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I think this is an incredible card.
It's only a 7 for me. Welcome back to the show. Last year, a storybook-like experience came into game stores and went out the other side of game
nobody
stores.
bought it.
Nobody really bought it. Nope. That's sad, and it makes Vic and I sad, and it's a sad story.
It's a beautiful game, though. Grab your blanket and get ready to play some Boy And His Blob.
Let's cry together.
Got a cool one for Reboot today.
Yeah, this is the Reboot sound.
I love that sound. This is a Boy And His Blob.
Yeah, way forward. This is David Crane, who made the original Pitfall.
Is that really?
This is his project.
Yeah, very cool.
And this is an old NES game. This is a cult classic.
Yes.
They decided to do it over.
And we reviewed this in the latter half of 2009.
We told you guys to go buy it.
We love this game.
$30.
Yeah. Is it
published by Majesco?
It's $30 now.
Probably not anymore. That's what it was when it first shipped.
Probably less than that now.
This is a puzzle platformer starring a little white thing which looks like sperm. It's like a little sperm friend
with eyes. It's like a shmoo, right?
A shmoo alien creature, and you're a boy, and the white thing is your blob.
And you got to find up some jelly beans, and then the blob can turn into a whole bunch of useful animated objects, so you can become a little trampoline or a ladder or
my ex-wife was a trampoline.
Or a parachute or a little hole in the floor. It's like a, you know what it is? It's
my
like an old...
ex-wife was a hole in the floor.
It's like an old Warner Brothers cartoon.
Hole. And that's the appeal here, is a puzzle platformer technically, but it's really more of a puzzle game because the jumping mechanics are really on par with like Little Big Planet or something. They're kind of negligible.
A little bit floaty,
They're not great. No. But changing your blob into different things to solve puzzles is immensely gratifying.
It really is, but I don't even think that is the reason you fall in love with this game. I think it is precisely the art style, the hand-drawn animation, and the sort of lullaby music that pulls you in. I recently watched Where the Wild Things Are.
So did I.
And was so taken aback by the artistic style of that movie.
It was beautiful.
It was really a lovely movie. And this kind of has that charm, it has that sensibility, it has that kind of childlike innocence and fantasy about it, and it's hard not to love this game.
Have you hugged your blob today? There's actually a button on the controller that allows you to give your blob
a hug. And you're constantly calling out for it to come to you, to help you out in situations.
It's 11 p.m. Do you know where your blob is?
It's really damn cute.
Does this need to be on a disc? And this is one of those games that I think would have really benefited
from download,
from being a downloadable title.
I agree. But you know what? For the Wii, this absolutely deserves to be in your library and treasured and brought out and shown to friends so you can see just how artistic and how rewarding video games can be.
We've told these guys multiple times to go buy A Boy And His Blob.
Yes.
And I'm not telling you again, this is the last time I'm telling you.
I got a new one, though.
Go buy it.
We got to say this to Way Forward. Release this game on other platforms.
Release the Kraken.
PlayStation and Xbox.
Make it a downloadable title on Xbox Live Arcade.
Make it for your platform.
Why do we have all the answers?
In HD.
We have all the answers.
Even if it's been on the Wii, it's okay. This game deserves to be played on multiple platforms. Steam, get it onto Steam.
It really doesn't even need to be on the Wii because it has nothing to do with the motion controls at all.
It's very simplistic design, but it's elegant, it's sumptuous art. Love the look of it, and I love the music and just the charm.
It's not a 10 out of 10, but it's one of those games that once you play it, you won't forget it.
What are you going to give this revisit to A Boy And His Blob?
You know, it has just aged so well, like you and I have. 9 out of 10 from me.
I'm giving it a 9. It's a little bit less love than I had last time. I still love it. Oh, nice.
So I remember the exact moment that Victor Lucas finished Mass Effect 2. He sent me a little message that said, I don't think I'm going to play a better game this year. And guess what? A couple months later.
It turned out I did.
But Mass Effect 2, an awesome game.
Yeah.
Huge role-playing, tons of dialogue, tons of side missions, great story, Martin Sheen, and now some DLC.
Well, and I got a question for you and the audience, too. Is DLC good enough that it can make you reevaluate the score that you gave on a game? Can it up its overall value? And if it does, shouldn't that be part of the initial experience because it's so good?
So you feel like this was a piece that maybe got chopped off of the original?
I don't know how this came to be. I imagine that BioWare's shrewd enough that they planned the DLC components completely separately, but we played Overlord on Mass Effect 2, which is
560 Microsoft points or something like that.
Holy crap, is this a lot of fun. I had so much fun. It was so clever and cool. You basically are battling a bunch of artificial intelligence. They call it VI in the fiction of Mass Effect. You're shooting robots and you get your team together and you go in and you find all kinds of new credits and plutonium, and you get to jump into a hovercraft vehicle for a little while and take out all kinds of installations and collect little data pods and stuff. But it's so addictive and such a great piece of the overall Mass Effect 2 experience. It almost exists as a demo for how awesome the game is. It's very manageable. It's very accessible.
Manageable.
It's like a tasty morsel. And
you know what awesome. I kept thinking is this reminded me of how incredibly refined Mass Effect 2 is as an experience, especially when compared to the original, which I went back and replayed again, which is so clunky now.
ME2 is so much more accessible. It plays so much better. The shooting is so well refined.
I felt like it might be a titch short.
Yeah, I mean, it's over quickly, in like but there's actually
2 hours,
quite a bit
even
of,
if you're farting around.
I know, but there's a lot to see in that 2 hours. Listen, man, it's an absolute must-buy, I think, if you're a Mass Effect 2 fan. To chart BioWare's progression as a developer, they started off being world-class RPG makers. Now they are just flat out some of the best game developers on the planet. They make some of the best video games you can buy.
It's not just that, though. I mean, it's almost as if they're creating their own genre.
For sure.
I mean, they have
interactive storytelling.
They are interactive movies, more so than any other game out there.
They're amazing, and this is another in a growing pile of games to give to Roger Ebert as a Christmas gift this year, to explain to him that, yes, games are art. This is an amazing
This is one of the best pieces of DLC. I mean, we looked at DLC for Assassin's Creed 2 a few months ago. We were disappointed with, number one, how thin it was, and number two, how exhausted we still were. Absolutely. This feels like they let us sort of digest the original Mass Effect 2 experience,
well, there was
and now it's time for us to go back.
There was earlier DLC for ME2 that we didn't review.
Yeah, the Kasumi one.
Yeah, and I've never played that, and I've heard that it wasn't that great, but this is world-class. This is some of the best DLC I've ever played. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 for me as well. Great job, BioWare.
Amazing. Welcome back to Reviews on the Run. Hope you're smiling because we are the show that saves you money. That's right, right?
Wait a second. This is the $5 segment. I used my $5 this week to buy Sloppy Joe mix.
Uh-oh. Scott and I are here to save you some cash and to show you some geese. Have you seen the geese?
We're out here in nature today.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get out of here soon, so let's make this fast.
Let's get back inside in the dark playing video games as quickly as possible.
The idea of the segment, we got $5. We're going to tell you how to spend that $5 and how we would spend it.
Yep. Mine's a cheat, but I'm going to say it anyways. You got to spend $50 or so for a PlayStation Plus connection. The first game you're going to want to buy, and you're going to spend $5 on it, is Super Stardust HD, which is one of my favorites, and it's kind of neck and neck between Geometry Wars and the original Robotron dual stick action games out there. It's a totally cool arcade throwback. It's a little bit Asteroids. PS3, and they have a PlayStation portable version,
that sucks, though.
It's not as good. You need both of the dual analogs. It's just a trip. You travel around a planet, a full 3D planet, and you're blasting asteroids and enemy ships, and there's all kinds of bombs and power-ups.
Now, I've listened to you talk about this game on the show more than once now. I have not bought it. What makes it so special?
It's the Zen, trippy, perfect sort of...
I get that already from Geometry Wars.
Yeah, but this is the equivalent. This is as good as Geometry Wars Evolved 2. They are neck and neck. Both incredible games. This one's $5 if you got a PlayStation Plus account. There's 2 DLC packs as well, which add an extra $2.50 each on PlayStation Plus, but they give you more content, multiplayer, and better solo modes and stuff.
You listen to me, Victor Lucas. I don't want to hear about this game on the show anymore.
You counted that up. Let's see how you stack up.
You know what? On sale, on Steam, Overlord.
Oh, cool.
This is published by Codemasters, developed by
Not the DLC for Mass Effect 2.
No, this is Overlord. developed by Triumph Studios in the UK.
Yeah.
And this game, if you haven't played it,
super fun.
My God, you know what makes this game so special?
Minions.
Yeah, the minions, the terrific sense of humor that the game has. I mean, you realize that there aren't that many funny games out there, genuinely funny games. The humor in this game, the cleverness, it's just executed with such confidence, and it's delivered so quickly that sometimes a lot of the humor will just go flying over your head.
It's kind of a Machiavellian fable in a way, right? And there's elements of fable in this game for sure, but this idea that
the art style is very much fable.
But you can control these little dudes to do all kinds of really mischievous.
So you play as the Overlord. You don't actually do. I mean, you have a simple attack.
Yeah, you're pretty powerful.
You don't really use it though.
You get some magic spells and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
but you don't really. Mostly, what you want to do is learn how to use your minions. What's great though is when you send them into like one of the Hobbit huts.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they'll just be the windows will start blowing out, and smoke will come out of the roof. A few minutes later, all the minions will come running out, holding up treasure, and they'll give it to you, and they'll say, "For you, for you, master, for you, master." It's just funny stuff for
$5
$4.99 on Steam right now. Go to Steam, download it.
So there you go, 2 wicked games for $10. You still got some money left over for some Funyuns and maybe a Slurpee.
All right, let's go eat.
He's like a virus now, infecting our networks and seizing control of any technology he finds.
What's the worst case scenario?
A technological apocalypse. Every machine, every weapon, every computer could be turned against us.